who featured him. The guy he featured is Mufti, right? Mufti. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. I have a lot of favorite songs, I'll be very honest. But the DSTV saga has come to an end. It came to an end yesterday when the Honorable Minister Sam Nate George addressed that news conference yesterday, announcing value offerings for the ordinary Ghanaian. Helen says she's been listening in to the minister. She's been trying to wrap her head around exactly what it is that he told us yesterday, and whether or not she's got value for money. We'll just listen in briefly to what the minister had to say, and then we get onto the phone lines as well and speak to an expert in the field, Maximus Ametogo. You join. He's already with us on the phone, so perhaps Helen will have to say good morning to him. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I trust that you're well.
Yes, I'm doing fine.
Fantastic. I want us to just take a listen to exactly what it is that the minister had to share with us. Then we get into the conversations as to whether or not we've got real value in terms of what was promised us vis-a-vis what it is that we're hearing. So let's just take a listen, and then I'll return to you shortly.
Right.
Subscribers will get between 33% to 50% more value. The new arrangement, effective from 1st October 2025, are as follows. For those who are on the Paddy Bouquet subscription, you currently pay 59 Ghana cedis. When you pay 59 Ghana cedis, you get upgraded automatically to Access, which is valued at 99 Ghana cedis, and you get 35 more channels. This represents a 40% savings if you were to pay for the Access yourself. Second bouquet, Access, currently going at 99 Ghana cedi. If you retain your Access bouquet at 99 Ghana cedi, MultiChoice will bump you up to the family bouquet, which is currently priced at 190 Ghana cedis. You get 19 more channels, which means that if you were to stay on Access and get bumped up for the value you get, you make a savings of 48%. If you're on the family package, which is currently valued at 190 Ghana cedis, DSTV will automatically bump you up to Compact, which ordinarily goes for 380 Ghana cedis. You get 22 more channels and actually get access to live football matches. So anybody on the family package, which previously didn't get live football matches, would automatically get live football matches. The value savings on this, 50%. Compact, currently going at 380 Ghana cedis, gets bumped up automatically to Compact Plus, which is priced at 570 Ghana cedis. You get 12 more channels in addition, and the value savings, 33%. Compact Plus, valued at 570 Ghana cedis. You pay that, you're automatically bumped up to Premium, which goes at the price of 865 cedis. You get 18 more channels and a value of 34%. For those who remain on their Premium bouquet, which is priced at 865 Ghana cedis, you will still get all the content on the premium flagship, the flagship premium bouquet, but you also get an automatic entry into the competition for the chance to win a fully paid trip to watch selected English Premiership games. But this is, as well as you know, subject to terms and conditions. There is no restriction on a subscriber's choice of a bouquet. The offer is available to both existing and new customers from 1st of October 2025. Effectively,
the best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
What we expected of them. I went into this with a request for 30%. With what we have discussed here, the lowest is 33%, the highest is 50%. And I extend my warmest gratitude to the multi-choice team for that.
That's the Honourable Minister Sam Nate George speaking at that news conference yesterday. I mentioned Mr. Metogo is with us on the phone lines. Let's get straight into it. We've heard from the Minister. Is there value in terms of what it is that we were promised and what we're getting?
Yeah, so based on your question, when you say value, I will say yes. But as to what...
Okay, perhaps I'll have to rephrase.
Yes.
Per what it is that we were promised, that there will be reductions, and what the minister announced yesterday, did we get what we were promised?
No. That one is an absolute no. I'm sure the minister can also testify to that effect. So we're promised price reduction, and we're not giving price reduction. We're giving more channels instead of price reduction. Same as the telco arrangement. We're giving more bundles for the same price. And it boils down to the fact that a lot of companies, they use the pricing model where the average revenue per user, they don't touch it. If you know, TV3 has maybe 3 million viewers, and they make 1 million, one CD per viewer, and you ask them to reduce the price, they will not reduce it because the airtime is still there. As many as 5 million people can watch it. So why should you reduce the price when you can give people more viewing time? So that is the same thing that DSTV just applied. They are giving more channels. And as to whether people are watching it, I'm not sure you can watch 3 or 4 channels at the same time. When you're even gifted 19 channels, you can't watch all at the same time. So you can only want one channel at the same time, or as multiple channels if you have the dual viewer package. So for me, we are not giving the value, this thing we were promised, the package we were promised, but we got value in terms of more channels.
We'll come to whether or not the value in terms of more channels is really what the Ghanaian was asking for, because you've already begun to speak to it that you can't view more than a channel at a go. But let me bring in Mr. Adomako Apia-Kusi as well into the conversation. He is the Executive Director of CATS International, joining us via the phones as well this morning. Mr. Kusi, thank you as well for joining us this morning. And I think I'll ask the same question, whether you or not you believe that what we were promised, we got that.
Okay. Good morning and good morning to your listeners. I think what happened yesterday was a more improvement from what we were expecting. Though people we did not necessarily see a slash or a discount or reduction in the tariff. But in some breath, there is a discount. For example, let's say premium was, I've forgotten the price of premium.
Premium is 800 and something cedis. Is it 810? I can just check that quickly.
Yeah. So if you are in a premium bouquet, you pay 880 Ghana cedis. And now, if before the premium, the package, the other package before premium was the Compact Plus. Now, you can decide to downgrade from premium to Compact Plus and pay Compact Plus and still get the premium package. Those who decide to remain at Compact and premium will also get the opportunity to the raffle, the competition. And the same applies to almost all the bundles, the section of the baseline bouquet. So if you are at Compact Plus. You can decide to downgrade to compact, still get the package that you are getting. So this is a better offer than what we were expecting. And I think that the issue has been the communicating this discount or this offer in a way that people can understand. Of course, we've not seen any price reduction at the bouquet level. But however, you are able to upgrade or downgrade and still enjoy what you are currently having.
But isn't that what we were promised? The fact that there will be price reductions because our currency had performed creditably, and hence DSTV ought to have slashed its prices to reflect the performance of the city. We haven't got that. Instead, we're being told. In some words, what some have argued is that the promos they run when the football season is off is what we've been given as customers. And for persons who used to pay below 59 cedis, they do not get any benefit at all other than the expectation that they will still have to cough up that same amount, only they get more channels.
You see, there is a company called MultiChoice or DSTV. And whatever things that government does with the company must also must make the business model sustainable. And for me, sitting here, looking at what the committee managed to arrive at yesterday, it is more like a win-win for both consumers and also the operator, in a sense that if you are at Compact Plus, premium, for example, and you decide to downgrade to Compact Plus, downgrade to Compact Plus, you save close to 200 and something Ghana cedis every month, and you still have that particular package that you have at the premium level. And this is a better option. So you see the utility in the savings when you downgrade. And when you downgrade to the previous bouquet, you see how much comes into your pocket. And so I think that this is a different way of looking at the price reduction. Because what the initial discussion that we're looking for to see, let's say, 30% discount, I think that will not make the company sustainable. But this one is very sustainable. It helps the company, it also helps the consumer. And I think that for me as a consumer, I also want to see the business of MultiChoice sustainable so that they'll be able to provide the services that we need.
Right. Mr. Metogo, that's the argument that's been put forward, that taxes ought to be generated amongst many other things. And so realistically, slashing of prices for DSTV perhaps was a wrong footing the minister should have started off on. And this perhaps is the best value we can get in terms of a demand for the Ghanaian customer to receive more in terms of the performance of the economy amongst many other things.
Yeah, so for me, that's the issue, because if you are promising something, you should be able to fulfill it, and you must also understand what is possible, what is feasible, and what is not. So we are just caught in between the promise and what we have been served. We have no option than to accept it.
No option than to accept it. But even I am looking at the offerings that we've got. So it was the same question I was asking Mr. Kusi, that for someone who is on the paddy bouquet monthly pricing, right? Yeah. It was up to 59 cedis, and you used to get 30. You used to get a specific number of channels. What we are being told is that 35 additional channels will be added to that for you. What if you don't have 59 cedis to pay, and the minister came and said, look, I will have them reduce the price, and so hold on for me, give me a month or two and I'll have that done. And now I'm being told, you know what, pay the 59 and then we'll give you 35 more channels.
Yes, I mean that is the issue. When you promise price reduction, it's price reduction. It's not like you are promising me increase in number of channels. Because let's just say the fact, you promised the reduction in the price of the bundles, not in the number of channels. We didn't get that, and that's it. It's like I'm selling a bowl of, you can only eat a bowl of 2 bowls of banku, and then you come to my restaurant and you say I should reduce the price. I said, no, I'll give you an extra banku, which you cannot eat. You know, so it doesn't serve your purpose.
There's no purpose which has been served in this extra value offering which we've just received from both the ministry and DSTV.
So like I said in the beginning, when we talk about the value, so it's not the pricing. The price has not been reduced, but value has been increased.
Even in the value which you're speaking to, you've made the point that you cannot watch more than one station at a time unless you subscribe to being able to connect to multiple TV sets.
Just been giving more options to select other channels. As to whether you like those channels is another discussion.
There's even the question as to whether or not value is always more. Whether or not value should have been always more.
That's another discussion. When it's raining, your DSTV goes off. You've paid for the premium and you can't get the premium or even one channel. You know, so what value are you getting? That one is a different discussion. I'm sure the regulators must deal with that.
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Aduma Kukusi again on the question, because he seems to be of the opinion, Helen, that enough has been done by the minister in being able to address these concerns and offer something for us. But Mr. Kukusi, there is this question which is coming through as to whether or not really, if we look at it, the more channels is actually what we wanted. Because if you take, say, Compact and Compact Plus as an example, and I mean, it's very strange that we're having a conversation about a private business and the service they offer us, but people choose Compact Plus, and this is based on credible knowledge that I have, considering a lot of the content people who watch Compact Plus more often than not will be watching. It's primarily because of the football. There are specific channels with which reason they are paying Compact Plus and be able to watch. They don't necessarily want to watch the additional channels that Premium will offer.
Yes, so I think there's a push and a pull. The push is the upward and the pull is the downwards. Okay, so if you are Compact Plus and you don't want the additional channels at the premium, you can downgrade to Compact and still get the same Compact Plus that you were watching and get I think about 100. I've forgotten the price difference. And so let us not situate the conversation within the upgrading side, but there's also can downgrade and get the money into your pocket, and that is that in the conversation people are not averting their mind of.
There are people who should be there are two categories really in terms of this announcement by the minister who stand not to benefit anything at all. The first is the groupings who used to pay the paddy. Even for the Premium Plus, we can make an argument that they can downgrade as well. But for someone who was paying paddy, and that's what they wanted those channels, they have zero option to be able to downgrade as well.
Yeah, because if you are the baseline, and so you don't have any option. However, they are giving you more content at that particular bouquet. And we say that the rising tide does not lift all boats, especially those who are stuck at the bottom, and we say that the gain to the winners must exceed the loss to the losers. So more people are benefiting than the few that are not benefiting. And I mean, when more people are benefiting, then I think that it is efficient that way. You cannot have a policy that will help everybody. I mean, when government wants to do something, and government wants to construct roads, government may have to increase taxes. The rich people may not like it, but the poor people, because government gets more money to construct roads, the poor will also be able to, whose area the road network is bad, they will also have some relief there.
All right, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up this conversation in 2 minutes. The big question next is, what stops DSTV, say, in the next 3 months from saying that, because of one or two reasons, we're returning to what used to be, because we were not given any timelines as to how long we will enjoy these reductions as have been announced yesterday by the minister. And the question is to the both of you on the line. I'll start off with you, Mr. Kusi.
Okay. Now, I would say that now I think there's a working committee between government and also the operator. And now, if there has to be any price review, it will not only be decided at Abelempe, where multi-choice office is situated. I think that the committee would also have to look at it. And of course, this is a free market. But we have come here because we want to be able to reach a win-win for both government and also there's also for government is also concerned about loss of revenue because people are using stolen boxes from
the Nigerian boxes
from Nigeria. That is depriving the taxman some revenue. And so government also want to make sure that DSTV's actions doesn't encourage people who go and buy these stolen
boxes from Nigeria.
That deprived GOG taxes. And so government has an interest in that matter, in this matter.
Right. Mr. Adumakukisi, thank you very much. Let me end with you, Maximus, as well, on that same question, just briefly.
Yeah, for me, like Mr. Adumaku said, it's free market. And sometimes we tend to like the free instead of the market. Where if somebody is playing within that space, we have to look at the forces of demand and supply and the competition that we are building in the market space. Because unlike the telcos, we have like 3 telcos. The DSTV, they don't have like competitors, but they have competition from Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all the other online streaming platforms, YouTube and the rest. So that will affect their bottom line. So if you are pushing them to give some of their bundles for free, it's not going to happen. It's not going to help them. And likewise, the tax person, the GRA will not be able to get taxes from them the way they want at the amount that they can afford if you did not ask them to reduce their prices below a certain threshold.
Right then. Thank you as well for joining us in this conversation. And I'm sure it's not the last of it, but most certainly we'll come back to this as and when necessary. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. It's time for us to switch lanes and talk that big subject having to do with illegal mining and what the government's plan is. There's a big CSO meeting between government and civil society groupings. We'll get into all of that. Plus, the questions about the sort of food and water we're drinking as a result of heavy metals in our food and water bodies as well. We're doing the lane switching quickly because we've been joined in studio, thankfully, this morning by presidential staffer and a member of the government. Is that a member of the government communications team? Is correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. Beatrice Ananfios joined us in studio. Beatrice, a very good morning to you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes,
I think the last time you were here was when I saw you, but I'm not seeing you again.
Yes. It's not me. I wish I would come every day. It's not me.
Helen wants to say something, but she's just holding herself strongly.
I think someone should send a message to my boss and tell my boss that they want me on air.
Please, who is, so that we'll write officially and say that we want
to. I'll mention it.
We'll write to him officially and say we want to be seen a lot more.
As always, it's good to be here. I'll try to be coming. I think that the limitation I was discussing with the production team is a Thursday that they give to women. So if
they kind of box you in.
Yeah, so if I happen to be free like today where they may be returning to Ghana and then I can come, it's for men, so I don't get to come.
Oh, no, if you say it's for men.
Okay,
so today was a unisex affair.
So today, yes, they make it because of me. Hopefully they
when you say it's for men, then it looks like
it's a Manel.
Specific.
It's normally like a Manel or something. So
I don't know why we don't do more of the co-ed type of discussions, because I've seen Beatrice on a number of platforms with her male counterparts, and she goes amano, as we say, or amano, awomano, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we like to insulate our women a little bit because you know sometimes things can get.
But I'm giving you the waiver. You waive me. Don't insulate me.
Okay.
No, we don't want to insulate you. We want you to come as often as possible.
As much as it depends on me, I'll try and be coming. I'll try because I love to speak to the Ghanaian people. It's important that we explain to them. It's important that we also take feedback and their perspective. So I would love to be coming here.
Right. On explaining to the Ghanaian people, there are questions being asked and very important questions as to what the government's plan is. We had the president speak some 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, on the fight against Galamsey. There are those who say that they didn't see enough from him in terms of a certain radicalism in being able to deal with the menace quite strongly. And considering now that in the last week or two, the reports have been coming in thick and fast that, look, our foods are poisoned, our water as well is poisoned. There are those who are asking the question, what really is the president doing? He's not even heeding our calls for a state of emergency as well. All we're getting is security zones being declared.
Okay, so I think that those who ask those questions, they ask them from a good place. And it's important that we hold governments accountable. We in the NDC take a different view that merely because you're in government, you should not be answerable or that you expect people to praise you. No. In fact, strong criticisms in themselves are good feedback for government to act. So we hear them, and recently you had Fix the Country go on demonstration, and we hear them, the Catholic Bishops Conference, and all well-meaning Ghanaian. But I can tell you that the issue of Galamsey is as much concern to the president as it is to the Ghanaian people. Because President Mahama eats the same food that we eat, drinks the same water we drink. He doesn't have any special water he drinks. Sometimes I'm wondering.
There are those who doubt that too. My producer is even rising to come and give me a cue to ask that. But I am asking that already.
Take that from me. I work with him directly, and I am privy to his food.
And the water as well.
I eat the same food President Mahama is served, and all other staff eats the same food. Sometimes I feel he's too humble because I don't know if I'm president whether I'll eat the same food. But he does.
You're being real.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel maybe it should be more special or something for him. But he does eat the same food. He goes outside Accra and he eats the same food. So it's not as if he's not affected. We are all affected. And this is what brings me to the fact that the posturing of the NDC government should be a hope for the people of Ghana. This is a government that is not denying the existence of the Galamsey Minants. In the past, we were told that we don't even understand how the Galamsey operate. This is a government that has reclaimed 9 forests, which before we came to power, we were told that were red zone areas that not even the military could go there. So all these 9 forests have been claimed. This is a president that, through the minister and other agencies, have seized 440 excavators, arrested over 1,400 illegal miners. Here, a lot of people are saying that, why not go after the kingpins? Why are you arresting the young people who are engaged? We hear them, and there is a serious surveillance to get the kingpins, because normally what happens is that they don't use their real face, and so there is a serious surveillance. And in the coming months, I should be very optimistic that some of the kingpins will be arrested to serve as at least as a scapegoats for others. So this is a government that, when we see sham fines and water pumps, the water pumps have been given to farmers to pump water so that we can get good food. And then we are saying that when you declare a state of emergency, what you're practically doing is saying that the good, the bad, the ugly, we've just mixed all of you. We have done some in this country before, sometime in 2017. What happened after the state of emergency is that Galamsey moved from the Ghanaian people to MPP party people. So by the time the state of emergency or the ban was lifted, it was Chairman Wuntumi who had Akonta mines, Kate, who was the national organizer, these were the people who were now doing the Galamsey. It moved from petty Galamseyers who could not afford excavators to people who had so much resources and could afford excavators. We have learned the lesson, and we are saying that we don't want to declare the ban and come back to where we have been before. And so when you look at the careful analysis, the issue has been with the water bodies and the effects. Now, these water bodies are also close to the forest. So if you have been able to reclaim 9 forests, we have declared the water body sites as security zones. And I can tell you on authority that 21 areas have been declared as security zones. My briefing is that we should not put out the specific areas so that the Galamseyers don't find very innovative means of going to the other side and all that. But this is a posturing of a government that says that we are putting trackers on excavators. We are reclaiming forest. We are effecting arrest. We are seizing water pumps. But we also want to hear the Ghanaian people. We want to hear perspective. We want to listen to what you think can be done, because I'm learning that there are multifaceted phases. There is a social, there is a cultural, there is the economic, there is the health, and there are so many other aspects. So when you impose the ban, you probably be solving maybe the environmental issue, but you're not solving the economic and social issues. And so by which time you come back to zero. So let's engage in the stakeholder consultation. The NDC government doesn't believe that we are a repository of all knowledge, that we understand the issues better than many Ghanaians in the area. So we say that on Friday, President Mahama wants to meet you. And it's important to make the point that the meeting is not just at the ministerial level. The minister could have met the CSOs, but the president himself is meeting the CSOs. Why? It should demonstrate that at the highest level, there is a commitment to fight the Galamsey. At the highest level, there is a commitment to engage and listen to perspectives so that we can collectively solve the menace. I've had people ask, and this morning I was asked, do you people think you're winning the fight? I think it's not about what we think or what we feel. I am one person. I don't believe in measuring by efforts. I believe in measuring by results, because my teacher will always say that when you measure by efforts, when people come, they'll pretend they are sweeping, they'll pretend they are packing, and they are so busy. At the end of the day, nothing gets done. And so we don't want to pat ourselves in the back and say that because we've reclaimed 9 forests, because we've seized 440 excavators, because we've done some of the things I've said, it means you are winning the fight. We want to get to the point where our water bodies would show signs of being very visible. Then we can start even talking about the KPIs. We want to get to the point where people are so scared of going here because they know that there is no mercy for the cripple, as we say in our local parlance. So we want to get to the point where Ghanaians will say that we believe the NDC to solve the menace than the NPP. And for me, and for President Mahama, for government, that is exactly where we are working towards. We hear the people who are concerned, and I'm concerned too, because I have little kids I laugh so much, and anytime they are eating rice and contumely, I'm asking whether there are some
heavy metals in the contumely. We all
concerned, and there's nobody at Jubilee House that is engaged. I don't make money from Galamsey. The president doesn't make money from Galamsey. The chief of staff, the secretary to the president, and all the other people at Jubilee, unlike what we saw in the past. So there is a commitment on our part, because we are not making anything from Galamsey. So why aid the Galamseyers? There's no motivation whatsoever. And so it's also important to say that what the NPP used 8 years to destroy, we cannot realistically use 9 months. But what we can do in 9 months is to show consistent demonstration, or to demonstrate that consistently we are committed to making sure that Galamsey becomes a thing of the past, even if not entirely, so it bears to minimum, right, so that we can be confident when we are drinking our water. And I've heard people say that, you know what, those in political power, they don't drink the water you drink.
So
it's not true.
You import your water.
It's not true. Yeah. Then maybe not the NDC, maybe not where I work, because I serve my boss water. The water, they don't even have preference. They bring it. So it could be Voltic, it could be Belacqua. This morning when I came, this is the water you've given me, and I'm drinking it. So it cannot be true. But it is a reasonable anticipation for people to ask that, why are you not doing something if we are all drinking the water? So we hear those who ask those questions, but the assurance I can give is that we are committed. We need the chiefs on our side. We need the young people to understand that we all don't love what we are doing at this point. People would love to be at different places. And so we need you to know that as you make the money, you're probably destroying your own life as well. And these education, you realize that the Responsible Mining Cooperative
and the NIMOS. That's a different ARCOM.
I always struggle with their names. They are in the communities, engaging the young people, listening to feedbacks, also taking their perspectives and asking, why are you doing this and how do you think we can solve this? So what I can tell you is that the NDC government is committed. And I have made the point that along the line, some of the policies may fail. We do not claim perfection. But the most important thing is that as you implement the policy, you identify the loopholes, you come back to review, and review here doesn't mean cancel. So you come back to review, you make it better, so that with time you will have a solid system. As we speak, the Minerals and Mining Act is undergoing amendment. We've piloted it for some years. We realized that there are a number of loopholes. So there is some stakeholder consultation going on how we can close those gaps. And that is what every government should be doing. What we saw in the past is a certain posturing of people defending. You saw the president defend Akonta mining. Even when his own minister said Akonta mining was mining illegally, the president said there's nothing illegal about it. That is a different posturing. There
are those who ask the question that you've mentioned some names and some individuals in the past who were engaged in this. We are not seeing punishments being meted out to them. We will see.
I can tell you that in October, when the courts resume, you will see a lot of action. You know, the aim and that is the difference between the MPP and the NDC. We do not think that we just have to put people behind bar for communication purposes, so that when I come on your studio, I come to the studio, I'll have speaking notes and be mentioning names and putting people's reputations and all that at stake. That's not what we believe. We believe that if you have to go to court and prosecute and win, you must have evidence. The process of gathering evidence can be a bit slow. And so in some dockets are ready, but the courts are on break. So even if you file now, you'll be giving them the opportunity to be closing the loopholes. And so at the right time, when the courts resume in October, I think first week in October, the courts will resume. You would see a lot of action. But those questions are also valid, and those are good and positive feedback. They should keep them coming. For us, we think that is a way of keeping government in check, and we appreciate that.
Right. And then a few
words. I had a question for Beatrice. I think she's already answered that. I wanted to know, what the NDC government would measure their success again. And I think Beatrice mentioned the waters being clear.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, that would be a good indication we're winning the fights. Also, I'm sure mercury and lead levels, cyanide levels, reducing would also be a good indication. Now, also, quickly, when it comes to the Galamsey ecosystem, who do you think, apart from government, we know everything rises and falls with leadership, who do you think really should also bear a strong responsibility? Is it our chiefs? Is it the community itself?
I think,
is it the youth? Because we see how enamored the youth is with quick money. A lot of young people now have decided, let me even ditch this job that I'm doing and enter the pits, to make money. Who really can we also, put some responsibility on when it comes to ending Galamsey?
I keep saying that it's great to be young, and young people will always be young. So we can't blame young people so much. And I don't even think it's a question of who to blame, but I think that our chiefs must play a more active role. We live in a society where culturally, no matter who you are, when you get to your community, the chief is the chief. So you can be a PhD holder. Even the president, when he gets to communities, goes round to greet the chiefs first. So we have a very strong chieftaincy systems in our local communities. And I think that the chiefs should be up and doing. Can you imagine if a chief says that, if I catch anybody engaged in Galamsey, we would do this, we would do that at the community level? I think it will be deterrent. And so, and that's why we are engaging the chiefs as well. The funny thing about the Galamsey is that if they were stationed at one place, it becomes easier.
They're always moving.
They are always moving. They are always moving. So even before you identify this person, by day 3, when your intelligence says they are here, by the time you get there, they've moved to another site. They found what they want here. So it's a bit unregulated. But I think that ultimately, when the chiefs say that we want to be actively involved in the prevention, I think we can achieve more than we are achieving. And I want to urge the chiefs to support government. I want to say that they should add their voices, because it's very important, because everybody fears the chief.
Right.
Sometimes not for the punishment, but sometimes for the reputational damage that you are very disrespectful to the chief alone is deterrent enough. So the chiefs also have a role, and we will urge them to support government.
Right. Beatrice, thank you very much for coming onto the show as well. And we'll make room for other legs of this conversation. We'll listen to the Agric Minister Eric Opoku, who spoke to my colleague Kemeni Amano on the impact of Galamsey on food crops.
Honorable, why is food so expensive in Ghana?
Now food is not expensive. It used to be.
It's not expensive anymore?
No, it's not expensive now. It used to be expensive. Because I remember somewhere in January 2023, food inflation skyrocketed to 61%. 61%. Now, when food prices are going up, it means that the number of people in the poverty zone is increasing, because there is a positive relationship between food prices and then the number of people in poverty. I hope you understand it. Now, assuming at the end of the month you are paid your salary, the first thing you have to do is how to feed yourself and your family. So when food prices are going up, it can take the whole of your salary to feed your family.
Right.
So after feeding, you don't have anything. So you have joined the poor people. Now, when we assumed office in January 2025, food inflation had declined to, I think, 23.8%. And now it is less than...
It's about 14-15%.
14.8%, the last report from the Statistical Service.
Correct.
We think that even the 14.8% is still higher. We want to bring it down. It's still high, we want to bring it down. Because in July 2014, Ghana recorded the lowest food inflation of 5%. So we are targeting that 5%. Now, how do you do it? First, Ghana is unable to produce enough food to feed our people. So we have been importing a lot of food to supplement local production. You know, we import a lot of tomatoes from Burkina Faso.
Right.
We also import onion from Niger. And even pepper from India and elsewhere. We have the land. We are blessed with arable land that is estimated around 13.6 million.
So what's the missing link? If we have the land...
13.6 million hectares. We have the land. As we speak, only 7 million hectares are under cultivation. 6.6 million have not been cultivated yet. We have youthful population. When it comes to market, after it's located here, and when you look at the African population of around 1.5 billion, it's a huge market. And so we cannot understand why Ghana shouldn't be able to produce enough food to feed our people. That is why His Excellency President Mahama tasked us to put in place mechanisms to drive Ghana towards food sufficiency. And I can tell you that where we are now, we are heading towards the goal. Within the past months, we have implemented a lot of policies. Now you hear in the news that our farmers are crying. They have produced so much, they are not getting market. Are you not hearing it?
Indeed, indeed.
Some are even complaining that prices are collapsing so low that they are unable to recoup their investment that they made in the farming activity. It is an indication that the investment we made in the production of food is yielding the results. I'm surprised that you are still talking about the old situation.
So let me put it into context, because when you look at the inflation figures, the food group still constitutes a very large, because the national average is about 11, but food inflation alone is 14 to 15%, right?
So we are looking at a multi-sectorial approach to dealing with the food inflation situation. One, if you produce in abundance, certainly it will force prices downwards. If you produce in excess of our demand, price will come down, but the farmer will suffer. So we have resourced the National Food Buffer Stock. We have given them initial amount of 100 million Ghana cedis. They will step into the market from next week and buy the excess maize and then the excess rice.
So we have excess maize and excess rice in the system now.
That's why they are crying. The farmers are crying now.
I thought they were crying for vegetables.
No, not vegetables.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3 FM.
They have produced the tomato and they were not getting the market. But on assumption of office, we crafted a strategy to deal with tomato production. What we did first was to engage with the technical people and the buyers. We wanted to know the taste, the type of tomato they want from us, and which they are not getting. Hence, they are going to Burkina Faso for importation. So we concluded on the variety, and we have made that variety available. So from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, we procured the seeds, and we're distributing to the tomato producers in their various enclaves. We have asked them to be in clusters, and then we give them the seed, and then we introduce a buyer to them. So in the Agogo case, the MP came to me. When he came, we were thinking about seed and fertilizer. And the MP said they had planted already. So what they need was the fertilizer. And I made the fertilizer available to them free of charge because we wanted them to increase production. So when they harvested, our buyers had problem with the variety they had produced.
Okay.
And that was why they were crying for buyers. Immediately the president intervened, and then some arrangements were made for the tomato to be procured and distributed to secondary schools. Now they are starting planting again. So I'm going there Tuesday or Wednesday to give them the seed that we want with the buyers, so that when they produce that, it will be bought immediately. So I recall, let me share.
Have you harvested already? The seeds that you give the farmers, have we had any harvest yet?
We are starting. We are starting the harvest. You know, we have 2 farming seasons in Ghana. We have the southern sector that start farming in March. And we have the northern sector, they start around May, June. So what we are harvesting now, we are harvesting from the southern sector. The northern sector is yet to harvest.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
It's not just about government interventions. The first leg of the Feed Ghana program is to campaign for mass participation in the program. So we embarked on a campaign that said that, look, every Ghanaian household must have a backyard garden. I think you have one. Or you don't have one yet?
No.
Please do.
I'm waiting for my seeds.
It's so important. We see our soil is fertile. So you leave a small space in your house. You plant tomato, pepper, or onion. When you harvest from your own garden, it reduces the cost of feeding the house. And you are able to make some savings for other developmental projects. That will make cost of living, affordable. Then again, we are also urging secondary schools to have school farms. As I speak with you, 129 secondary schools in the country are participating in the first year of the program. And if you see the farms that they have made, you give us the plaudits that we deserve. Then we are also saying that in Ghana, we have more churches than schools. In fact, one morning I got up in my hometown and I counted the number of schools, I got 9. But when I counted the number of churches, I got 39. Now, if we are able to bring all these people on board to participate in agriculture, to go into farming, we'll be able to produce enough than we need.
I see.
So some of the churches have also come. They are with us. They are participating. Some have issued instructions to their branches across the country, urging them to go into agriculture. Then we are also saying that state institutions must also go into agriculture. We have the military scaling up their farming activities. National Service, we are supporting them. We give them the seed, we give them the poultry for them to scale up their activities. We have the prison service, we give them the tractors, the things that they require, and even some financial support for them to also scale up. In fact, when I visited Kenya's prisons, I realized that from the prison, from the camp to the farm, it's quite a distance.
Right.
So I had to procure Kia truck for them to facilitate their movement so that they can also be part of it. So we have all these people on board. If government does not do anything at all with these interventions, you can agree with me that we should be able to produce enough food to feed our people.
How careful are you when you're coming to the market to buy food stuff?
You don't have anything to check about the food because you are not the doctor. You can't detect anything. You don't have anything to detect whether the food has maybe there's chemicals inside to identify. For you to identify like this food I'm going to eat is going to cost me or it's going to give me a cancer. Our leaders are supposed to do something about it. This thing they are doing it is politics. They should put the politics aside and should face the facts. Are you getting it? Because it affects anybody, whether you are NDC or NPP. Are you getting it? Because the leaders are supposed to come together and fight it for one. Are you getting it? That's the reason why.
It's a serious issue.
It's a serious issue. It's affecting anybody. If imagine the layman who doesn't have money to buy this boutique, this kind of water. How can he feel it? See people who are getting cancer now. Isn't last week? Kolebu. You see a lot of people are coming to Kolebu who have cancer.
Hey, Enya cry, Enya. Am I a woman? I want to. Oh dear. Let me fear your son too. Ewo adia no. Ube huna insu kokwa aba. Inti na ye ka so obi na etu ye pipe no. Sese achiama nso adru.
Na sisi na affecting your man na moto na hu say.
No nso enye ani. Ntosi ni nyina na apropro. Wamba market ya some omo ka say ye nyai enton ntentem na e say. And the actual says, so no, a reverend son of my assassin. If your man talking, I say.
Okay, awesome.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Right, and those are reactions from the market in terms of the effect of Galamsey. Earlier, we were listening in to the Minister for Food and Agriculture, the Honorable Eric Opoku as well, speaking to us. Let's get on to the phone lines quickly, because we've been joined by two experts when it comes to matters of agric here this morning in terms of helping us understand the troubles that we're in and all of the difficulties we've been speaking to as a result of the effect of Galamsey. Edward Karawe is a former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAU. I've spoken to him all my life as a journalist. I'll be very, very honest in that position. Mr. Karawe, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Egbeta.
Yes, sir. I trust that you're well.
I am in high spirits and I'm a strong Ghanaian.
Fantastic. And also on the other line is Charles Nyaba. He is a former executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana as well. Also, another that I've spoken to all my life as a journalist as well. Mr. Nyaba, thank you as well for joining us, and I hope you're well.
I am well, and good morning to Edward, all the listeners, and then other people who will be joining the program this morning.
I think the issues have been laid out quite bare for us as to the dangers we're in and the difficult times we're in. I want to start with you, Mr. Nyaba, as to the effect of Galamsey and what we're seeing it do to our foods. From the perspective of the farmers, because we've had farmers come out and complain as to the destruction amongst many other things, what can you say is the state based off on latest reporting that you've received across the country?
Okay, thanks so much, and then good morning once again. As I always said, farmers are the primary victims when it comes to these Galamsey activities in terms of their incomes, in terms of their own health, and in terms of social impact on their families and other people surrounding them. Because there's competing use of the land that they used to grow, and then the minerals that is on that land that other people want to make use of. But I think this over years has not been managed properly. Now, you travel across, I can't list all the communities, but if you travel across many communities in Western North, Eastern, Ashanti region, Bomi region, and in recent times, even Upper East and Upper West, you see that many farmers are actually moving away from Galamsey operating areas to other areas because their farms lands are either completely taken over by the illegal miners, or due to the activities of the illegal mining, the soil is completely destroyed, the crops are polluted, the water bodies around those areas, especially those who use irrigation, are completely polluted, and even the bioorganisms that support crop production, like crop pollination and other things, most of them are destroyed. So in terms of their own income, is completely reduced. Now, in terms of their health too, we have found several practical examples, apart from what the researchers and the scientists are telling us, of strange diseases or sicknesses that farmers in recent times are experiencing, a lot of kidney problems, cardiovascular diseases, and all that the farmers are recently experiencing that we can't explain of. We have people now dying earlier than before. And we can attribute all these to the activities of the illegal money. So what the market women were talking in terms of taking vegetables and fruits which easily go by within a very short period, I think these are signs that we have already experienced as farmers. So the effect is that enormous, and I think the fight to address this is not strong enough, even though we do appreciate the recent efforts by government to deploy security men, military people to guide water bodies, forest areas. That is good, but we just hope that that should continue, because in the past we saw several operations that didn't last long because of pressures from the big people that we call them. So we just hope that now that this is coming from government itself, this will be continued.
This should be continued. Mr. Kara, let me bring you in now. Already, we've had concerns about food security in this country. We heard from the Agric Minister before we started to hear from the farmers. Do we run the risk, outside of the concern of the poisoning of our foods, that the activities of illegal mining will even further threaten food security in the country? The availability of food to start off with, even before we think about whether or not the food we have is even poisoned?
Well, once more, let me also say good morning to Charles and then to all those who are listening to us. I think that this country has always been food insecure for a long time, probably apart from the 1970s during the Operation Feed Yourself and Operation Feed Your Industry, where we became much more food self-sufficient. Of late, this country has been largely food insecure. Now, what that for us we mean, and if you look at food security, you have to also look at it from a developmental perspective. If you can have enough food to eat, even at a lower price, and then variety of food, but then it doesn't lead to the development of your country. We are looking at a consumption pattern that leads to development of the country. So in this respect, if you have enough food produced within your country, it creates jobs for your people. It gives them incomes, and then at the same time, it feeds them. What we have been battling in Ghana over the years is how much of our food consumption in Ghana is from imports. And that struggle has always been there, and you can see that struggle manifesting in various policies and agitations that let's increase our food production, let's invest more in agriculture, and so on. So the situation we have today is that now we are going to exacerbate the notion that already exists that foreign goods are better than local goods, or our taste for foreign goods will now be further heightened, in the sense that if we begin not to trust our domestic food, what we produce here, because there is every evidence that they contain heavy metals and it is poisoned, then even if we increase our food production, people will still shy away from it and then buy the imported food. And we all know what happens when we increase our imports. Our food import bill has been unacceptable for years, and all government effort is to bring down that bill. So the Galamsey saga, when it comes to consumption, is going to drive away Ghanaians' taste for local food to foreign food. And that is something that will be very difficult for any policy to immediately control. The Galamsey itself, what it also does is that it affects the capacity of the country to produce food for itself for many, many years to come. Because Galamsey destroys the infrastructure that is available for food production, the water bodies, the vegetation, the landscape, permanently. That is what Galamsey does. It does it permanently. And it does it, and that the destruction is irreversible in the sense that the government doesn't have the capacity in terms of technology and resources to deploy to reclaim these lands for immediate use. So you can see how it is going to affect food security, not only today, but also into the future. Here is a developing country. Here we are already grappling with how to have hospitals all over the country. Agenda 111 was meant for that. All manner of health challenges. Now this is coming up with health challenges that we don't even have the capacity to deal with. They are not minor diseases like malaria, headaches, and so on. But these are things that are core to the organs. I know organs treatment is highly a specialized area to the extent that you even have to replace the organs. And the cost of replacing them and even finding organs to replace them is a prohibitive alternative for many Ghanaians in this country. So this is where we are getting to. And as for food security, it's not only about availability of food.
Right.
It's talking about quality of food. And our whole entire economy is likely to crumble if we are not able to take a decisive action against Galamsey.
And I hear you on the entire economy possibly crumbling, but in your speech as well, there's a real likelihood of we having farmers lose their livelihoods. And the both of you have dealt with farmers for a very, very long time. What are the real dangers of these farmers as we speak currently, of they losing their livelihoods? Because the forest areas which they grow their crops in is being taken over by illegal miners. If we talk of cocoa, there's even the perception and the belief among some Galamseyers that where cocoa is where you actually find gold. It looks like farmers are also under attack.
Well, I think that if you look at farmers are seriously under attack. And, the farmers' only source of livelihood is on the farm. It's what they grow. So if you take away their means of survival, it could be linked to genocide. You are impoverishing them to the point where even their own labor, they can't have other places to exercise their labor. Because they exercise their labor on the farms. And then the land for production is not there. And even when they produce, Galamsey destroys them. Not everybody can engage in Galamsey. Not everybody is strong enough to do the type of work that is involved in Galamsey. Even if you do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, you may lose all the energy, not to now talk about ailments down coming in. So you can see that what Charles said, that the farmers are the first immediate victims of Galamsey, is vivid for us to see. In the sense that the farmers will have nothing to eat. Even when they were producing their own food, we know that farmers are the most poor, in the sense that majority of them were poor, the smallholder farmers in particular. Now you are taking away their whole means of livelihood. Then you are just saying that they should die. You are not only saying that they should die of hunger, you are also poisoning them, directly for them to die. And that the state cannot watch to see its own people, particularly the vulnerable, who cannot defend themselves, being poisoned to death. And we think that we have a nation. So, again, that's why we have a nation. The nation intervenes to protect its people. And this is the time that the nation must intervene in a manner that would bring Galamsey to its needs.
And And for you, Ms. Anyaba, as well, you had wanted to have a bite of this. Have you been having farmers come to you in some numbers or even across complaining about the fact that their livelihoods was gone and they don't have anything to hold on to any longer?
Yeah, so actually that's the bit I wanted to add on to the real examples of what we have experienced. And this manifests more on women and young people than adult people, in the sense that in areas where farmers see that there's nothing they can do on their farms as a result of the Galamsey activities, they give up, either by selling the land or joining the Galamsey activities. And when that happens, it is the landlords or the owners of the lands. So the women, our cultural setting, usually the young people and the women don't own lands. Secondly, women don't have that strength to also engage in the Galamsey activities. Where it becomes critical, we see some of our farmers, the young people, joining to do the Galamsey activities instead of the farming itself. So in recent times, we have a lot of women moving from Galamsey going areas, coming to Accra to look for jobs. And when they don't get those jobs, available job is to engage in prostitution. Last month, I was traveling to Dubai for some meeting. In the plane, I met 5 Ghanaian young men and 3 women. So I just interacted with them, and they said they are coming from Aquatia area. I said, oh, so where are they going? So they have these agents who said when they go to Dubai, they can get security jobs and other things to do. I said, oh, then in Ghana, you can engage in other things. So, oh, they were all farmers. They do every business. But now, Ajumana said, that's what they told me. So there's nothing they can do. So I said, so where you are going? Do you know the experience? They said, yes, no matter how, it's better than we sitting there. So that is what is happening. And the other time, I also indicated that I went a committee in northern Ghana. That is Galamsey, where the Galamsey activity is taking place there. Around the surrounding areas where they still do farming, you will not get any youth to do any labor work or to do the farming. They all run and join the Galamsey in the areas. Others in the adjacent communities also ran and came to Galamsey areas in southern Ghana to work. So that is the extent to which it is impacting on our people. So once the youth can run to other areas and can also join the Galamsey activities, what will the women and the young ladies do? That is the things we should be asking ourselves. So the Galamsey menace is something that I think we should all be concerned about. Not only consumers, not only farmers, but every Ghanaian to know that this can also lead to other social vices. That at the end of the day, if you don't take time, you might not be in the area, but you also feel it.
And with this trend that you speak to, how long before we begin to see it actually bite hard? Because you're mentioning farmers, some from the young persons leaving their neighborhoods because the business has been completely destroyed. How longer can we wait? If that's the right way to put it. How much longer can this go on before we get to a point where we say, wow, now there's not so much food and prices are skyrocketing and all of that?
My brother, we don't have time. It's already here with us, and it's an emergency. It is the reason why we were calling for state of emergency on all mining activities in the country. Because, look, these days, if you go to northern part of the country, where in previous years we used to see the youth there migrating to southern sector to come and work on cocoa farms, work on palm farms, and then rubber plantation. In recent times, I see people from the same areas now moving back to northern Ghana to go and do farming. But where is the land? The land is not there. The climate too is not friendly for them to go and do it. Okay? So once they exploit all these areas and there is no opportunity for them to continue to farm, what they are doing is what they will continue to do. And when it becomes worse, that they won't get the alternative work to do, they can't travel outside the country. That's where we will begin to now see robbery cases going higher, because they prefer to do anything to survive than to continue to remain there when there's no hope in future for them. So if you talk of how many times we have, I think there's no time. The time to act is now. And I think even though government is trying its best by putting military and security men to guide those areas, I still think that it's not enough. They can do far better to ensure that by the end of this year to next year, they're seeing drastic change in the activities of farmers in those areas.
And for you, Mr. Carroll, you think enough should be done here and now? I mean, that's a point we've been making for God knows how long, but it looks like we're really running out of time in terms of the reality on the ground for us as an area as a country which is largely described as one that could feed potentially the entirety of the West African sub-region.
Well, I think that we are where we are because of our actions and inactions. If we have to change our current narrative, then we have to take action. But it appears that we are not ready to change the situation. And you see, if you even go further analysis of it, you realize that we are creating income inequality seriously in this country. We know that it's already there. And every developing country, particularly when you enter into the middle income level, the risk is how to redistribute income. There will be much income in the country, but if government policies are not put in a manner that allows people to benefit from it, a few will have the income. What we are doing now is we are exacerbating that. Today, many of us have been children of farmers, and many people at the top level are children of farmers. They grew in the rural areas, and yet they managed to scale up to this level. What is happening now is that if you take away the incomes of farmers, the source of livelihood of farmers, that is through the Galamsey, destroying their farms, it means all their children cannot even go to school. You see? And the children will go into the Galamsey. And there is nothing that leaves anybody benefits from Galamsey apart from the illusion that you have got money. And that money will not take you anywhere. So you see that at time we are growing a situation where those who are poor, and because of the way our education system has been, is that if you concentrate on education, there's an opportunity for you to scale up, to one day take away poverty. What we are doing is that all those who are at the lower level of our society, who are mostly engaged in this Galamsey, it means they will foreclose the opportunity to ever, come up at the high level of society. So we will be creating a caste system where you are born, you remain like that. And the income inequality will get to a point where, like Charles is saying, people will now adopt other measures to live, because people must live. If they cannot live, others cannot also live. That is, it is a very difficult thing to say, but that is it. All of us, we don't engage in crime because we think there are alternatives. But I'm telling you that when there's no alternative and you wake up in the morning, you are sick or you cannot eat for the whole day, 2 days, 3 days. I'm telling you, there is nothing moral, there's no law that can stop you from engaging in an illegality to survive. So we shouldn't get to that point. So the action is now, and we must do that, because the talk is too much. Well, you don't even need the talk. We just need the action.
Right.
It's a practical thing. And this is what we just have to see. So, well, government is assuring us, and government, again, with the invitation of civil society to come and dialogue, well, we can do the dialogue. But at the end of the day, the decisions, the actions rest on government, because the state has got the power, cohesive power, to deal with people who are engaging in illegality. And this is an illegal activity, which is a crime, which the state must deal with it decisively. You cannot cooperate and then dine and compromise the crime. you can't do that. But unfortunately, we've allowed it to fester. We have reached this point, but then we still need to recover our future. Otherwise, we have lost the past, we have lost the present, but as for the future, we must recover it by taking decisive actions.
Right then, I'm sure our leaders are listening to the both of you. Very experienced in terms of agriculture and farming for decades, I must be honest. And I was speaking to the fact that my entire journalism journey up until this point has been interviewing the both of you at one point in time, from my early days at Class FM to Star FM up until here. And so most certainly your voices that ought to be heard and heard with all of the seriousness. I appreciate you both joining us this morning here on the 3FM Sunrise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, that's Edward Caraway and also Charles Nyaba, both speaking to us this morning on the challenges we have with our food in terms of the poisoning, amongst many other things. There is a genuine cause for concern in terms of what must be done and what should be done. Mr. Nyaba, Charles Nyaba, is a former executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, speaking to us. And then we had as well Edward Caraway, who is a former general secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, both speaking to us this morning. I think they've laid it all quite bare in terms of what it is that must be done, should be done, and that we run a risk really of not being able to have enough food to eat at the shortest possible time, and having people get up and pick whatever it is and commit whatever crime it is because their source of livelihood has been wiped out.
That's right. I think our experts have said it all today. And for those who want to know why we're keeping this theme on issues concerning Galamsey and all the attendant issues, because it's very, 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 very important. If you listen to the experts, we're not in a good place. So that's why we keep the pressure on to ensure that you and I eat good, wholesome food, and also at a price that we can afford. If you go on the socials and beyond, people tell you the formation is still 010, sometimes 001. On a bad day, 000. Food formation
000.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh yes.
000, as much as it's difficult, it's a reality of a number of individuals as well.
No doubt about it.
In terms of availability of food and whether or not they can do 3 square meals a day. And so these and more really are the subject matters upon which we must continue to brood over and get a lot more in terms of decisive action. We look forward to that meeting or that engagement between government and CSOs.
That's right. Is it happening today?
On Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay, today's Tuesday. On Friday.
Yeah, Friday will be the 3rd. Tomorrow is the 1st of October.
That's when you get your Happy New Month text messages. Happy New Month. Some of the Happy New Month messages, don't open it all. If you want your wallet to remain the same. Say Happy New Month, and they add a picture with flowers, God bless you, sometimes Jesus on there. Don't open every Happy New Month message that you see on your phone tomorrow, lest it takes a hit on your pocket. Some of you, I know some good things are happening in your account. I won't say much.
And there's a quick birthdays just this morning as well before we run out of the studio.